Sup mud monkeys, today I wanted to talk about these weird builds I've been seeing people post where it doesn't take much Adderall to Sherlock the fact that everyone is buying multiple metal kneecaps, but no one explained the strategy further to me. So I did what any new League of Legends player would do and figured the main subreddit for the game would be the perfect place to ask for some clarity, only to immediately be reminded that the mods in that place are a bunch of swollen finger fleshlight owning virgins that I would like nothing more than to line up and urinate on after force feeding myself asparagus. So I dropped the same post on Twitter and went into a game thinking I would just build the stuff myself and learn the OP power that people were clearly exploiting that way. Turns out you can't buy more than one support item, and this nonsense was just a visual bug by an indie company who is short on funding, and I'm a grade A moron who thought it was gonna give me Superman powers or some shit. So yeah, story time over.
3, 2, 1, go. Look at you traveling around the map!
Today I broke the speed barrier in League. The idea was simple: you play this bowling ball with spiked acne or rock a big horse cock because they both put pedals to metals, then you rock Predator, Ghost and Chem Tank. Then you adopt a cat who queefs zoomies into ear holes and this floating grandfather clock whose E is a 99% speed boost at max rank, and bam, this just became the most fun way I've ever made money. The money making part was because I found this site called Z League, where I linked my League account and then started signing up for these free to play tournaments that they always have going on. Then it's business as usual on the Rift. I play my games, yell numbers at people until I eventually get annoyed with feeding toddlers on my team, but unlike the rank system that's more outdated than my granddad's pickup game, I'm actually rewarded for doing well myself with good KDAs in addition to racking wins during the tourney time so that I can compete on the leaderboard, which is ELO base division, so you won't be competing against Smurfs and whatever faker is. Then simply collect the prizes and cash out like you just ran game on the poker tables. So check the link below, give Z League a try today and start earning from simply playing the game. Alright, let's introduce the supporting cast. In this one we have Eros on the groovy clock, the literal rank 1 zillion mid on NA servers, esteemed coach, content creator Giga Chad, well respected in the Zillion community. And then we have Coffee, a degenerate fellow hardstuck who mains Lulu in silver like a psychopath and sends me messages like this as if I'm gonna let him get me drunk off shitty taco joint margaritas and start shoving stuff up my butthole, appropriately playing Yumi. And sure enough, this one starts off with the jungler's dream. Not even getting to your second camp before you hear,
Can my fucking ADC press right click?
So full transparency, I'm thinking Coffee can suck a cuck. I'm sticking with the Grandmaster player and following his call outs.
Come, ready? Just queue in, come in.
Roger that, homie. Frozen turd on route.
Oh no, back, ah!
The new plan is to Michael Vick these dogs like junglers are supposed to, until freaking Uncle Vito comes flying onto me like a sperm cell out of a prepubescent pork sword in the presence of a Belle Delphine poster. So I ask Eros to piss on me because I want to rub my sulfur smelling cat turd ass all over him, but I'm hesitant because the man hasn't had his nicotine in weeks. So I let the male stripper grab his tits first as I failed to land 1 point on clickability before watching him get Hiroshima'd from behind the tree line. Then if I'm being honest, I didn't have a pig dick's idea of what I was supposed to be doing next. All I knew is that I wanted to eat a river raspberry, but as it so happens their top laner is a total dumbass, so I'm fin to bowl a strike with a side of slaughter, but Set would rather carry him away as if my knee nibbling ass could ever even steal the kill anyway. Then I devised this evil plan with the one trick where I will act like I'm gonna gank long enough for him to legally change his name to Baited, and then I come in to do an absolutely absurd amount of damage before none other than a stray red buff-ridden Yumi comes in to add one more reason why that champ should be removed from the Rift. So I adopt the queefing kitten and am thinking about having this big-titted pirate notarize the paperwork when we get a better idea, and that's to rub my ballsack all over this Graves who thinks flashing will save him, but I assume Zillion said some dumbass lore pun like not this time. And then it's just Rel, who may have successfully tapped the tantrum tomato in time, but she's still Rel, and that champion has a design that's more tone deaf than handicap stairs, and I'm like a little Freddy Fearless enjoying the amenities of an early game ADC, being able to do nothing more than a quick tickle of the titties. But I guess these Rift clits are playing for the red team in this one, so we regroup and then change plans to a group poop on the banging blonde with the speed of light, no pun intended, because none of her lights were hitting anyways, and like that we were out. That said, our Caitlyn is one of those players you look at and say, oh, that is why shampoo has to come with instructions, as she dies while contributing less to the fight than her dad did to her upbringing, as I come in for sloppy seconds only to cosplay my icy cold teal Rammus skin by growing a pulsing set of blue balls to go with it. Now, small word of advice for the tiny percentage of you League players that actually have enough friends to try this strat. Let me demonstrate what happens if you use Chem Tank after you already triggered your roly-poly-oly form.
Bruh.
But let me demonstrate that without your items you can still be a little Bugatti boulder sliding into all kinds of chicks' DMs and knocking them dead. But Rav's Rammus pussy slaying game aside, it then turns into a family ordeal that I wanted to leave, but when a rank 1 zillion says,
I have a
you commit to the fight like you're. It's also important to note that every time I was ready to floor the acceleration, I had perfect vision and awareness of what I was about to drive straight into. Puff the split pushing dragon was showing that sitting top and playing solo player league is a viable way to climb in that role. But speaking of role, if you are picking up what I'm putting down, but Godzilla tries to call an airlift, so I bump into him to distract him and then he runs off to have some privacy for his death. I get a small pep talk to tell the man carrying a shotgun that I pegged his mom, which didn't exactly spark the response I was expecting, as he just ran away crying, leaving his stone steed riding useless skank of a support all alone to do what her kid is designed to do, die. Anyways, I'm feeling the need for speed and I'm thinking Captain Jack Sparrow's side piece is gonna be the recipient of this steaming delivery, but I do less damage than an underachieving earthworm, but she dies while I just fake my own. And then if you were wondering when Caitlin was going to make an appearance, here you go. Which short story long made the game nearly impossible for my first time Rammus rump to win, so we queued up for a second on the Cyan Centaur, and despite my gank angle almost saving Sarah Splash-A-Lot's ass, things were already off to a better start. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this could have been Brokeback Mountain and I could have been gay as shit with how much camping I planned on doing in his lane, but of course the Elderwood ballsack hears orgy and comes running over EDP 445 status as I kill off empowered female character number 7 before ghostwriting my way into what was looking like a double kill, until I opted out of pushing Q and simultaneously getting paid in lieu of triggering someone in the comments into saying this gameplay is too painful to watch, as if they themselves are not bronze hard stuck for 6 years eating frozen Eggos out of the box in their mom's shitty basement that they can't leave because Taco Bell isn't giving them enough hours to afford a place of their own. But hey, at least you are damn right in that I should have pushed my Q here. Anyways, this is then followed by my demonstrating how Hecarim is an avid follower of No Nut November by blue balling myself on repeat with hoes that dash and then flash walls, so then I go bot and that Clash Day scrotum just rides his fuckboy express out of there. He did die, but then when I went to curb stomp his lane mate, she decided she would reward Mr. I can count to 4 for it instead. So you know what I did? I immediately grabbed my misfit posse consisting of an old clock and a book writing kitten and said, let's commit premeditated murder and let's waste all of our abilities to do it, so that when the weaponized soccer ball comes in he will know we mean business and not try to stop it. I now have my pumped up kicks and are ready for a little surprise rundown. Unrelated, I decide to settle for the red buff because I can't freaking kill any actual champion, only for that chode zebra stained bitch ball to steal that too, so I repetitively spin my giant spork around in a close fight where my smite is like an ugly whore, begging to be touched but no one will do it, and I'm certainly not, so I barely bust the ball in time and then I make like a fart and blow this shithole. Nyla is now hanging in rivers thinking a more steady supply of water will help her bending, but not against a time bomb chucking clock who was fin to let me nab the kill until I almost didn't, but then we got served dessert in the form of that fat skipping ball sack who gets stunned and then flees through the fuckboy express, so I hit the fail follow into can't stun me. I ulted but I actually got stunned anyways, combo eat shit Riot Games, and then I prove why playing with Grandmaster 1 tricks is my best tip to perform well, as I drop my brain cells on the ground publicly. He picks them up and saves me while simultaneously making the play that ends up saving this clip so that I can still show all you and no one will think I'm dog shit at the game. And then I returned the favor by walking away acting like I don't know him or that piss-ridden kitten in their time of need, but I want to be fully transparent with you, my viewer. I did it on purpose because this game was too one-sided and I wanted to give the enemy a little hope so they didn't forfeit and you all could get more content. So really, if you think about it, you are to blame for them dying here, and it had to be done because our tentacle Tina was exactly respecting the whole let's give the enemies hope idea, as she was in their base advertising the fact that she was a top laner that got ahead. Anyways, I now have the tank of chem and an upgraded monotier sword, so time for a little ring around the laser shooting Rosie with this dead bitch, and then for a quick speed test mid you see with Yumi as my jockey. I'm one to bet on at the races, so regardless of Nyla's bullshit that almost feels like a cruel counter to this video's mission statement, we're still able to murder her. At this point no one is safe anywhere on the map, as I'm like an Uber Eats Cillian bomb delivery service, so all I'm saying is imagine if I actually knew how to play this champ. Like for example apparently my damage scales off of how fast I'm accelerating or some shit, so a little super surprise from the back manages to chunk 3 of them down to half health immediately, which is the dank beans to this trolling Rift Chili strat, and after we clean that up they finally give in and say fuck this guy's content, league is torture, to which all I can say is I can relate. But this was fun. Now go check out the time this Eros tried to coach me on Zillion here. Rav out.